Greetings, Helldivers, and welcome to Meridia. So, in this video, I'm going to showcase the brand new mission that was released a few days ago. And for this mission, we have to activate the Terminid Control System. So, there's no side objectives, and there's no bug nests or anything like that. This mission is part of the new major order to activate the system across the 4 barrier planets on the Terminid controlled sectors of the galaxy. And that major order is worth about 50 Warbond medals. So it's quite well timed due to the release of the new premium warbond. Now this warbond does require 1,000 super credits to unlock, but it does have a lot of the new energy based weapons and armor sets. There's also some new boosters, some emotes and some new capes available, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to showcase those in future videos. One thing to be aware of is that I have upped the difficulty for this mission to hard, and I did attempt to solo it a few times like some of our previous mission showcase videos. But unfortunately, I believe the way the mission is set up makes it quite difficult for players to solo. So for this video, I am running with a squad of 4 players. Our equipment for this mission is going to be the light armor set, which I've been preferring when it comes to fighting the Terminids. I much prefer having the increased movement speed and the increased amount of stamina. It's just a lot easier at handling swarms and getting away from hunters and stuff like that. But when I'm facing off against automatons, I'll always go for a heavier, more armoured set, because they can obviously shoot you from a mile away. Our stratagems are the orbital railgun strike, the recoilless rifle, the chain gun sentry, and the anti-personnel minefield. Although I will say that I'm a bit 50-50 with the minefield. I've seen a few players use it, but we're going to use it on this mission and see how it works. It's pretty good at defending points, and I believe this mission is a point defense mission, so I think it might work quite well as long as I get my positioning right. We are also taking the Hellpod Space Optimization Booster, which allows all Helldivers to land with full ammo, stims, and grenades. And now, to everybody's favourite moment, the draw.
Hellpod launch initiated.
Looks to you for salvation. Let nothing stand in the way of
Requesting advanced weaponry!
So, first of all, I do have to apologise for how dark it is. When I first started attempting to solo this mission, it was still daytime, but obviously a bit of time has passed since then, so it's now nighttime and very dark. Hopefully there's a bit more lighting around the objective areas, so it's not too difficult to see what's going on. And if you look at the top right hand side of the screen, you'll see our 3 objectives for this mission are to activate 3 separate battery silos, and this was the part I struggled to do whilst solo. So with these battery silos, whilst they're activating, you have to defend against waves of Terminids. They spawn out of the ground as they always do with the orange plumes of smoke, so it's quite easy to see them coming, but they will spawn in quite high numbers and very frequently. And in order to activate the silos, you have to keep the Terminids from attacking them. So the Terminids can hit the silos and damage them to the point where they stop activating and you have to start all over again. And that was the bit I got stuck on. There was just so many Terminids coming at me at once that I'd be kiting a big group of them around, but then there'd be a couple of big ones at the back just wailing away on the silo and deactivating it. So it's probably going to be easier to do on lower difficulties, but I've recently found myself stepping up difficulties to, because the challenge is a lot more enjoyable, especially now that they've worked on the spawn rates and the health bars of some of the enemies. So it's getting a lot more fun doing the harder difficulties. It's not as big of a challenge as it was, but it is still challenging. So I am enjoying it a lot more now. But it also has made it quite difficult for me to record content if I'm trying to solo it. So we will probably have to drop the difficulty back down for future mission showcase videos.
Freedom never sleeps! Get some! Get some! Heavy has landed. Affirmative.
Checking now. East 100 meters.
Reloading.
Support weapon.
For prosperity. Calling down fortifications.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Calling down a sentry. Reloading.
Calling down a sentry.
Canisters empty.
Northwest.
Reloading. Have a taste of democracy. Reloading.
Heavy. Southwest. On my position.
Requesting fortifications.
So, one thing you'll have noticed throughout this mission is that I have been quite liberally using both the minefield and the recoilless rifle. I was really happy with the placement of the first minefield, as a couple of bug holes spawned near it after it had landed, so we got some decent use out of that one. But the second and third minefields were pretty terrible, especially that third one. I threw it towards the first objective that we'd already completed, so the likelihood of any bugs going through it were very, very low. But I didn't want to block off that pathway for our teammate over there who just pinged the heavy. I've also been enjoying the recoilless rifle because it's just really effective at taking down those spewers, and those spewers, when they're on their own, you can kind of kite them around in a circle, you can run around them, you can avoid their attacks quite easily, but when they gang up in a group of 3 or 4, they are quite dangerous, especially if they all start spitting at you at the same time. It's very difficult to get away from. So I do like shoving a big recoilless rifle rocket right up their backsides. A little bit of alliteration there. But one thing you will have noticed as well is that we haven't had very many heavy enemies spawn. In fact, I haven't actually seen a charger yet. My guess would be that the heavy that was just pinged was a charger, but I haven't actually seen one, so having the railgun orbital cooldown was not the best choice because we haven't really had to use it yet, which is one of my prime examples for why I would say that there isn't really a solid meta within the game right now, because you can never be certain of which enemies you're going to get on which missions that you're playing, and that some orbitals and some stratagems are more effective against the Terminids than they are the automatons, and others are the other way around as well. So I don't believe that there is any kind of solid meta. There is no one build of stratagems that you can take with you on every single mission against every single enemy and be successful every time. It's just not the way this game works, I'm afraid. But that's what makes the game a lot more fun for me, because every mission I do, I'm always taking a different setup. I've always got different orbitals with me, so I think that's what adds a bit more depth and a bit more replayability to the game, and they can only just keep adding more from here.
you'd like to taste of freedom! Throwing grenade! Helldiver, reporting to the front. Sorry. Feels good. Requesting advanced weaponry. Southeast. Close.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining. Calling down a support weapon!
Sample collected.
Bugs, east. Supplies. Thank you.
Objective located. South.
Okay, so now we've finished activating all 3 silos, we're going to make our way over to the extraction site and initiate the Termicide dispersal. And this part does look pretty cool when it's initiating that part, so I will try and get a decent angle on recording it. It does look pretty awesome when it's spraying out the gas at the top of that huge tower. I do like some of the animations for the larger buildings and stuff that you do on missions, like the ICBM mission. I've always had a big like enjoyment of watching the ICBM take off, and then you watch it fly off into the distance, and then you see this huge mushroom cloud appear. Although I do have to say, with the amount of ICBM missions I see on some planets, it blows my mind as to how some of them are still habitable after we've finished liberating them. But I suppose it's so far in the future that we've probably developed a way to clear up Fallout pretty quickly, or we're not using nukes. Either way, it's all a good time.
Proceed to extraction.
Reinforcing!
Extraction request confirmed. Shuttle inbound.
Democracy has planned. Calling down fortification!
ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Received.
ETA T-minus 20 seconds.
Supplies. Calling down a sentry.
T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Calling down a sentry.
This is Pelican 1. I have visual on the extraction zone. This is Pelican 1, preparing for touchdown.
And that's mission completed. We've just called in extraction. We're going to wait for the ship to land and then get the heck off of this planet. I really enjoyed that Termicide dispersal unit. That looked pretty cool, just watching the gas come out from... When I first saw those, I thought they were loudspeakers. I was like, why have we got a set of speakers up there? So it just made me... confused me slightly for a bit. And I also felt really bad at one point because I could hear all those sounds of combat. It's why I kept looking down at the ground and checking my surroundings, because I thought, have I just left my poor teammates to fight waves of enemies whilst I'm studying recording content for my channel? But luckily enough, those explosions was just an autocannon sentry absolutely wrecking face off in the corner, so we were all good. And that's pretty much it for this video. This has been the Terminid Control System mission. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.